Good morning Year 8 and welcome to today's maths lesson. Let's start off with a quick starter. Can you solve 3x equals 9? Solve 3x is less than 9. Can you work out 7/8 divided by 1/7? And then can you simplify the ratio as far as you can, 6 to 18? Please pause the video and have a go at these questions in your light blue books now. Okay, let's start off by solving this first equation. We need to work out what x is on its own. So to solve it, we divide both sides by 3, which leaves me with x is equal to 3. We solve an inequality in exactly the same way. 3x is less than 9. We divide both sides by 3, and we get x is less than 3. The only difference between solving an equation and an inequality is that for the equation x has got to be 3, whereas for the inequality x can be any number less than 3. For example, if x was 2, 3 times 2 would give me 6, and 6 is less than 9, so the inequality would still work. So we get a range of values for the inequality and a single value for the equation. Dividing fractions, we need to use our keep, flip, change. So this is going to be equal to keep the first fraction, flip the second fraction over, and change the sign. 7 times 7 gives me 49. 8 times 1 gives me 8. You could convert that into a mixed number, or you could leave it as an improper fraction. I didn't specify. If you did it as a mixed number, you would get 6 and 1/8. And finally, simplifying the ratio 6 to 18, I'm going to start by dividing both sides by 2, just like if I was simplifying a fraction. What would that give me, please, Tamsin? 3 to 9, very good. I could then divide both sides by 3, which would give me what, Misha? 1 to 3, brilliant. Let's have a look at today's lesson. Here is our lesson destination for today. So we're going to look at solving inequalities, but this time we're going to have two-step inequalities, not just single steps. So to start off, let's recap solving two-step linear equations. Pause the video in your light blue books. Please solve this equation now. Let's go through the answer. We're going to subtract 3 from both sides to start off with. That gives me 2x equals 6. I'm then going to divide both sides by 2, which give me x is equal to 3. Let's do another. Light blue books, solve this one for me. Okay, exactly the same way. We're going to start by subtracting 3 from both sides. That gives me 2x is equal to 12. I'm going to divide both sides by 2, which gives me what, James Cork? X is equal to 6. Lovely. Let's try another. Pause the video and solve this one in your light blue books. Right, we're going to subtract 5 from both sides. That gives me 2x is equal to 10. I'm then going to divide both sides by 2. So x is equal to what, Beatrice? X is equal to 5. Lovely, thank you very much. 5x plus 5 is equal to 15. Solve this one in your light blue books for me. Okay, we're going to start by subtracting 5 from both sides. That gives me 5x is equal to 10. And then if I divide both sides by 5, what do I get, Alicia? X is equal to 2. Lovely. So how about now? Pause the video and have a go at answering this one in your light blue books. Okay, this time I need to get rid of that subtract 5 first off, so I'm going to add 5 to both sides. That gives me 5x is equal to 15. I then want to divide both sides of my equation by 5, which gives me x is equal to 3. Pause the video, light blue books, solve this one for me. Let's go through it. We're going to add 5 to both sides this time. So 5x is equal to negative 5. I then want to divide both sides by 5, which gives me x is equal to negative 1. How good are you? How about now? Solve this one for me. Let's go through it. We're going to start by adding 5 to both sides, which leaves me with 5x is equal to negative 5. I'm then going to divide both sides by 5, which gives me x is equal to negative 1. Well done. If you notice, this was exactly the same as our previous question. I just moved the numbers round. I put the negative 10 on the other side of the equals sign and the 5x take away 5 on the right hand side of the equals sign, so it was exactly the same. And finally, in your light blue books, can you solve this one for me, please? Okay, I'm going to start by adding 5x to both sides, just to make my life a little bit easier. It looks a lot nicer then. I haven't got this negative 5x. That gives me 5x plus 10 equals negative 5. I'm then going to subtract 10 from both sides, which gives me 5x is equal to negative 15. Dividing both sides by 5 gives me x is equal to negative 3. Fantastic. Okay, year 8, in your light blue books, please pause the video for about 10 to 15 minutes and have a go at solving each of these equations. Notice when you've got a negative x or a negative g or a negative j, I would always start by adding 2x to both sides. It makes it easier to deal with, easier to handle. Pause the video for 10 to 15 minutes and have a go at these questions now, please. And these are the answers I was looking for. Please check your work and see how you did. Okay, dark blue books out for me. Can you write the title Solving Two-Step Linear Equalities for me? And then pens down, eyes on me. We solve two-step linear inequalities in exactly the same way as we solve two-step linear equations. That's why we started with practicing solving those linear equations. So I've got 3x plus 4 is less than 16. Just like with an equation, the first thing I would do is subtract 4 from both sides. The only difference for an inequality in comparison to an equation is we're going to get a range of values. So I've now got 3x is less than 16 take away 4, 12. I'm then going to divide both sides by 3, which gives me x is less than 4. If I wanted to draw that on a number line, like so, that means the solution for this inequality is x is less than but not equal to 4, so it's an empty circle, and x could be any of these values to the left hand side. Over to you, year 8 in your dark blue books. Can you solve this one for me? Pause the video and have a go. Right, let's go through the answer. I'm going to start by subtracting 4 from both sides. That tells me 3x is greater than or equal to 15. I'm then going to divide by 3. Which tells me that x is greater than or equal to 5. So x can be any value as long as it's greater than or equal to 5. If I was going to draw that on a number line, here's my number line, here's 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We know that the value of x can be 5 or anything bigger. So if x was 6, let's check if it works. 3 times 6 would give me 18, plus 4 would give me 22. 22 is bigger than 19, so it would work. Okay, Year 8, pens down, eyes on me. I'm going to do an example, then you're going to do one. This time I've got 3x take away 5 is less than 16. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add 5 to both sides. This gives me 3x is less than 21. I'm then going to divide both sides by 3, which tells me that x is less than 7. So x could now be any number less than 7, and this inequality would work. On a number line, here's 7, 6, 5, 4. This would need an empty circle on the 7, and any of these values would do. For example, if x was 1, 3 times 1 would give me 3, take away 5 would give me negative 2, yep, that's less than 16, it would work. In your dark blue books, Year 8, have a go at solving this one for me. Pause the video and answer that now, please. Right, let's go through the answer. This time I'm going to start by adding 5 to both sides. That gives me 24 is greater than or equal to 4x. I then need to divide both sides by 4. So 6 is greater than or equal to x. So x needs to be less than or equal to 6. So on a number line, if this was 6, 5, 4, we need x to be 6 or any of those numbers less than it. For example, if x was 1, 4 times 1 would give me 4, take away 5 would give me negative 1. Negative 1 is indeed less than or equal to 19, it would work. One final example for you. Please put your pens down and watch me to start with. I've got 16 take away 3x is less than 4. I don't want this negative 3x, that looks really tricky. So I'm going to simplify my life by adding 3x to both sides. Always a great way to start. That gives me 16 is less than 4 plus 3x. And now it looks much nicer. If I subtract 4 from both sides, I get 12 is less than 3x. I can then divide by 3, which gives me 4. So this inequality means that x is greater than but not equal to 4. On a number line, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We've got x is greater than but not equal to, so it's got to be an empty circle, and it could be any of these values. For example, if x was 5, 16 take away 3 times 5 would give me 1. 16 take away 15, 1 is less than 4, it would work. In your dark blue books, Year 8, please pause the video and have a go at this example in exactly the same way. Let's go through the answer. I'm going to make my life easy. I'm going to add 4x to both sides. This leaves me with 13 plus 4x is greater than or equal to 5. I'm then going to subtract 13 from both sides. So we're starting off by subtracting 13 from both sides. Subtracting 13 from both sides leaves us with 4x is greater than or equal to negative negative 8. I then want to divide by 4. So you should have got that x was greater than or equal to negative 2. On a number line, here's negative 1, here's negative 2. We're looking at all the values where x is greater than or equal to, so it's a filled in circle going this way. Okay, Year 8. In your light blue books, please pause the video and have a go at this Codebreaker for me. Solve the inequalities. Your answer will link up to a letter, and these will give you 3 words that you can unjumble to give you it's the name of a film. You might not have heard of the film, but it will definitely give you 3 separate words you can unjumble. Pause the video for 10 minutes and have a go at those questions now, please. And these are the answers. I was looking for black, hawk and down. It's the name of a film, you might not have heard of it, but these are the answers. Please check your work and see how you did. Okay, Year 8, I've got one more blue book example for you, so pens down and watching me. I've got 3x take away 5 is less than 6. First step, as always, I want to get rid of that take away 5, so I'm going to add 5 to both sides. That gives me 3x is less than 11. Now this looks a bit scary because now I want to divide by 3, but that's not going to give me a whole number. But that's okay, sometimes we don't get a whole number. So now I get x is less than 11 over 3, or I could write that as x is less than 3 2/3. Over to you, Year 8, in your dark blue books. Please pause the video and have a go at this question for me. Let's go through the answer. We're going to add 5 to both sides. That gives me 4x is greater than 3. I'm then going to divide by 4. So x is greater than 3 over 4. Make sure you've got this example in your dark blue books for me. And then can you pause the video and have a go at these questions for me in your light blue books. The green one's a little bit easier, the yellow ones are more of a challenge. Pause the video for 10 to 15 minutes and have a go at these questions, please. And these are the answers I was looking for. Please check your work and see how you did. Finally, this was today's lesson destination. Pause the video for 5 minutes or so and have a go at these questions for me, Year 8. And these are the answers I was looking for. Please check your work and see how you did. And that's the end of today's lesson. Please now head over to Google Classroom and submit today's exit ticket for me. Have a wonderful day and thank you for listening. Goodbye.